And it makes me upset, Kyle, because she called me and she's like, yo, where's the child support? I said, I'm not paying shit. That's not my kid.
I'm just like, I don't know what to say even in the acting scenario.
No, and you used to cut to a close-up where you're just making that face
like, Yo, you know what this is? This is season 3 of Trust the Process. My name is Kyle, and I'm here with the legendary motion graphic artist and VFX master, Sasha Bjelic. What is going on, man? How's it going?
Yo, what's up, Kyle? How you doing, man? I'm just living the dream right now. Man, if I could tell you all the things.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, man. Life is I'll tell you right now, life is crazy. I'm in LA right now, actually.
You got to keep it on lock. What you got going on? What's crazy?
Well, I'm in LA, just doing my thing. I got NDAs and stuff, so I can't talk about it.
Okay, that's fair. I respect it.
Yeah.
It's great to have you on. It's an honor to have you on this show, so thank you for making the time. And it's going to be a great conversation, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I have a lot to say, and I'm gonna set the record straight about some stuff that, some people have been seriously pissing me off. So I'm gonna set the record straight.
Well, let's get right to it then. Let's get this record going. So I wanted to start by asking you about yourself. So tell us who you are and what you do.
Yeah, man. Ooh, I got a notification. All right. My name's Sasha. I'm from Hamilton, Ontario. You know what they call Hamilton? They call it the City of Angels. Best city in the world. Sunshine and rainbows over there. Beautiful. You ever been to I'm trying to think. It's kind of like what's like the most heavenly city in the world, arguably? What's the place that everyone just thinks of and it's wow, it's just perfect,
Paris. I know Paris is really
it makes Paris look like a fucking dump, so yeah, that's what Hamilton's like. So yeah, that's where I'm from. I'm a motion graphics artist. I edit for rappers and companies and businesses all across the world. My claim to fame right now is that I worked on 21 Savage and YBN Nahmir music video back in February, March, and then recently I did a big ad for Future. So that's I would say 2 biggest accomplishments. And then I've also done smaller projects for artists like BlocBoy JB, Fatboy SSE. Oh man, it's kind of hard remembering off the top. I thought this would be really easy, remembering, oh yeah, I did this. And most notably, I worked with KDD on an animation back in the day. I feel I was always creative, since I was a kid. I was really shy as a kid and stuff, you know what I mean? But I would always find ways to express myself just through little jokes with my friends, stuff like that. And then as I kind of broke out of my shell more, I kind of started realizing oh man, I really like creating. I love entertaining people, you know what I mean? I guess I just realized at a really young age, at 10 years old, that's when I realized I want to go to Ryerson for media production, which is people are always surprised. You know what university was when you were 10 or 11?
For real?
Yeah. So basically, yeah, I just started off just making little short films with my friends, kind of like what I do now, but on a much smaller scale. I did short sketches inspired by Freddie W and Quarter Digital, if you know who those guys are, YouTube all-stars. Yeah. And then yeah, from there I started learning how to edit, which is where I first started to learn the stuff I do now, but obviously on a smaller scale, iMovie.
Hell
and then
yeah.
As I got everyone started with iMovie.
The GOAT, bro. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And then as I got into high school, I started I was still doing the comedy stuff, but I kind of just put it on the side because I was excited about high school and meeting people, but then I quickly found other people that are creative like me, and I started continuing making these sketches with new people now. Yeah. And then my family, they didn't want me to do they didn't want me to do anything creative. They wanted me to go into business or something like that, because they were Serbian, there's a lot of nationalities and backgrounds that are that where it's doctor or business or, you know, a lawyer, something big, you know, pays well. It's like a classic story of like, you know, they want you to do whatever they think is a safe way, and then you're like, oh, I'm the rebel, I want to do something creative, right? Like we can all relate to that story to an extent. So yeah, like I started thinking like of ways like how can I kind of like show my family that like this is a real career path, right? So the way I did that was by my one friend, he was a really good basketball player, Nicola. So I started making like recording his games. And then what I would do is me and him, you know, got together, hung out, and we would edit mixtapes. Yeah. And my parents caught wind of that, you know, through a community and, you know, neighbors and stuff like that. And then they finally, when it was time to start applying for universities, I told them, I'm like, Ryerson's my only choice, really. Like, I'll apply to other schools, but I don't really care. Like, Ryerson's my go-to. And I got in, and, you know, they finally loosened up and let me, you know, go to Ryerson. I really liked like rap and stuff like that my whole like life. Like since I was like 6 or 7, like I was listening to like, because of much music and stuff, I was listening to rap.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, so I was started doing music videos, and like Cole Bennett was popping off at the time, and I was trying to recreate his style, and I had no idea what I was doing because I was just trying to like be like someone else. But it was my first few videos, so I accepted it. I'm like, I'm not going to be a completely original first go around. So I was, you know, getting my name around that in the rap hip hop scene, meeting a bunch of like underground like local rappers and stuff like that. And then I built a little bit of a portfolio doing like those little like loose, you know, one-off freelance gigs. Yeah. And I built a portfolio. It was all right. And I completely transformed my Instagram from like my personal Instagram into like a business, like, hey guys, like hire me. I make sports mixtapes and music videos and stuff like that. Yeah. And so once I had a nice portfolio, I was like in third year of university, and I'm like, wow, like I've been doing this for so long, but I still don't have any credibility, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, like I have a lot of work done, but it's nothing that I'm like super proud of, right? And I'm like, I kind of chalked it up to the fact that I wasn't getting enough work. You know what I mean? Because the work I was getting until that point was like, you know, maybe once a month, every 2 months, where I was like, you know what I mean? Like doing something. And I felt like that wasn't enough. I'm like, I need to knock into the next gear. So I started messaging random people on Instagram, like, hey, I'm an editor. Like, this is what I got going for me. Like, do you want to like maybe form a partnership, or do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, anyone want to like, you know, like take me in under their wing? And you know, some people replied. I made some friends, but no one really wanted to work and stuff like that, just because, you know, I didn't have a crazy portfolio. But then there was one account that messaged me, and it was ABGGFX. Yeah. That's my brother Bari. But basically, he messaged me and he was like, you know what, I like your stuff. I'm gonna send you a video, and if it's any good, you know, like I'll use the effects and stuff. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like I have free time. Like let's do it. And he sends it over, and the first person who it is, it's PNB Rock's younger brother. PNB is my first video, and I like started like freaking out. I'm like, dude, like I'm not ready for this. Like why? Like that's crazy. Like for my first stuff. Like. Yeah, I'm like, man, like I can't mess up, because I was doing local stuff until that point, you know? So it's like, it was low stakes. If I mess up, you know, like you make the notes, you make the changes, and you move on with your day, you know? Yeah. But this time around, I'm like, oh my God, I got to turn it up, you know? Like I can't mess up. So I remember I spent like all night, like till 6 a.m. I had class the next day, but I stayed up all night. Like I got to make it perfect. I'm like on the phone with this guy, and he's like, yeah, like that's good. That's all right, whatever. And at the end, like the rapper liked it, PNB Mean liked the video, so it went up, and I was like, oh my God, like this is big.
That's like, yeah, man, that's crazy.
Like right out of nowhere, right? Just from messaging random people and just kind of like being, I sent everyone like a paragraph that I kind of like custom wrote for everyone, where I was like, yo, like, please, man, like I'm looking for a shot here, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna improve, I'm gonna learn. I know my stuff isn't the best, you know, so I was like really being passionate and stuff like that. And I guess that sunk for him, hit for Bari, and you know, he gave me a shot, so that's I'm forever grateful for that. And then after that, so like Bari was sending me like just a bunch of local rappers, just because I was new. He was sending me a bunch of local rappers from around his area, because he's from New Jersey. So I was doing a bunch of stuff for like New Jersey artists. And you know, it was small artists, but I was still like happy, because you know I was enjoying the music and that they were making. And you know, I was learning a lot because he was sending me lots of references and saying like, okay, try this, try that, you know. So I was kind of like pushing myself for once, you know, instead of just going off whatever I thought was cool. Flash forward a year, and I'm just trying to remember it because Bari is a rapper himself, so I would edit his music videos.
Got you.
And he has lots of connections in New Jersey. So I remember he did a music video, and he got a feature from Fatboy SSE.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know Fatboy SSE, he's a legend on World Star. Like, he's a viral sensation. His music's great too. I listen to his music too. But yeah, he got a feature from him, and I was like, all right, like, we're turning him back up, you know. From that point on, I'd say that's when I officially became like official. Because like soon after that, we got in with BlocBoy JB's team because their team and their creative like agency liked my work and our work. So mine and Bari's, and so yeah, Bari did the cover, I did an animation for it, and then we got paid for that and everything, and that all went dandy. And then BlocBoy JB, he had an album drop after that, and it was Fatboy. It was his most recent album. Yeah, that was fun. It's so confusing because like, yeah, I worked with Fatboy and BlocBoy, who made an album called Fatboy.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fat boys.
Yeah,
a lot of fatties around here, I guess. But yeah, and so then I did the BlocBoy JB animation, and that was kind of weird because I did it, but I didn't use it. But then they still had an album cover animation. But that's like politics. Like that's, you know what I mean? That's out of my control. Yeah, it's just like record label stuff. You know, things like change and plans change. Like, that's no one's fault. It's literally like just the, you know, the industry, you know. So so right after that point, that's when things just started going like parabolic, I would say. Because we got in with PNB Rock's team, and we started editing because we did work for PNB Meme before, and Bari got in with PNB Rock, you know what I mean, just through like, you know, chilling in at New Jersey and just living life. I guess Bari just got in with PNB Rock's team, and PNB Rock liked our stuff, and we started editing his music video, Splash. It was a remix with another artist. And that was kind of like our first like big break, like real big break. But the thing is, that video didn't come out until after our biggest video, which is a 21 Savage video. So what happened was, right after we finished editing that PNB Rock video, we got a call and Bari. So we got in with a director named Rock Davis. Okay. And Rock Davis, he's a genius. He's a great director. He's the one that also directed that PNB Rock video. Cool. So through that PNB Rock video, Bari met Rock Davis, and Rock Davis is like, wow, like, you're fire, you're fast. You know what I mean? You're a good price. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna use you guys for going forward. And then so like this guy Rock Davis very next gig is the 21 Savage video. Wow. And we're like, oh, like, we're like, shit. Like, and so Bari is in Jersey, so he got to be on set, like, which is crazy. Like, he was on set. He was doing behind the scenes and all this stuff. Like, and he was just on set helping out with whatever, which is like pretty insane. And there's like apparently like there's like stories about like that shoot because it was such a legendary shoot. Like, there was like a funeral going on right beside the filming. Oh man. So they're blasting Oppa Stoppa while like some guy's being laid to rest. Like, hey, you know what? If I die, that's how I want to go. Stoppa playing in the background.
People trapping out in the house beside
yeah, people like in front of the house, like 21 Savage wearing a vest. That'd be fire. I mean,
that's something, man, for sure.
But yeah, so yeah, Bari got to be on set. We got the footage, and I swear to God, we spent 4 days without sleep just editing that video because our thing, like I said earlier, is being fast. You know what I mean? Yeah. And and by being fast, that means we don't sleep often. Jeez, so we set. I didn't sleep. We edited for 2 days straight. And there was a version of the music video with like a bunch of VFX and like editing and all those crazy cool ideas me and Bari had. Yeah. But and everyone loved it. And then at the end, I guess something just happened where there was like a creative like change, and they're like, no, we're gonna go from scratch again. And so like I'm like, oh, we lost 2 nights of sleep and we now have to kind of restart. Jeez. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. So but that's like I said, that's literally just creative things. Like, that's part of the business, you know what I mean? Like, things change, directions change, like some people, there's miscommunicate, like there's so much thing that happened that I can't even remember because it all happens at 1,000,000 miles per second, where it's like, you're working, you check your phone, oh, okay, they don't like this, okay, oh, they like this, oh, like, you know what I mean? So you're just going back and forth between so many people's teams, and you're talking like to YBN Nahmir's team, you're talking to 21 Savage's team, you're talking to Bari, you're talking to, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many moving parts, you know, so it's like pretty insane. But finally we got that video out and it blew up. It got like, I think it's like 15 million views now, probably more.
The record's gold too, which is
it's
insane,
gold, so I'm technically a gold editor.
Oh
yeah, technically I don't like to take credit for it because Bari, that's ABGGFX, that's not Sasha, that's the team, like that's us, that's not me. So, and then from there I kind of like, because I was finishing school, I was focusing on balls, which is my sketch comedy show. It's my passion project, it's my soul, my heart and soul. So like, as much as I love music videos and that stuff, I would say I'm way more passionate about like VFX, 3D, and comedy. Like those are my like trifecta, you know? So I love music, like don't get me wrong, because music lets me express myself like in other ways. But like if I had to choose, it would be like comedy and filmmaking and directing and stuff like that. So
wow,
I feel bad for rambling, but it's like
that's what I think is so interesting to hear about, right? Like it's that behind the scenes perspective of everything you're doing, how to grow your career, what perspective you took, whether it's even just being in that music video editing environment and how you go about that. That's so interesting to me. So
yeah, no worries. But
wow, there
was this one really famous editor, Remain 3K. He's a legend. Bari is a big fan of him specifically. Remain 3K, he goes to Bari and he says like, hey man, I'm stacked up, because Remain 3K, he does like work for like YB, like Young Boy and shit like that. Like he's all over the place. He does big names like it's nothing, you know. And so he hits us up and he's like, man, Bari, I'm backed up and I have this future video, can you cook it up in this time frame? And Bari says of course. And so I just right away, like the second they send the references and like the song, like it is like I literally visualized the video, you know what I mean? Like I didn't even have to edit. Like there was like no notes to the video. Like the only note was that because it's DJ Swamp Izzle in Future, like the only real notes was just like, oh, like use this footage instead of that footage, you know what I mean? Like just like changing clips. But yeah, that video came to part and like it was so hyped just because like I don't know why I was more hyped about that video than I was the 21 Savage one, because I was scared I was gonna be like a one-hit wonder, kind of.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Okay,
it's like,
I got you.
I'd be for like the next 5 years, someone would just know me as the 21 Savage guy, you know? And then I'm like, oh man, because I'm always trying to top myself, you know what I mean? So like, I'm always trying to top myself like Marilyn Manson, you know? So it's a bar, but
a bar.
But yeah, so I'm always scared of like falling off, even though I'm like 22. Like I'm always scared of like, you know, I don't want to be in one place for a long time. I want to keep like making sure there's like visible strides in my career. So I found out the future video, I'm like, okay, thank God. Like it wasn't luck, you know what I mean? It was like I'm good. I'm decent at what I do.
Like you earned it. Like from everything you told me, and I believe it, because meeting you, I knew you were that type of guy to like. I seen you hustling. You're always working, always creating, you know, and it pays off. I'm sure there was a lot of like late nights where, as you said, like you spent like 2 days up just editing, you know. Yeah.
And that's like every night. Yeah. That's every night. I'm at work right now.
That's crazy.
I don't know what time is it. It's like
6:20?
I don't know what time. 6:20. It's 6. I'm probably gonna be here till like 9, 10. So you know what I mean, like.
But that's what that hustle's about, you know. And I think people forget that, like it's not. Yeah. It's not luck. Most of the time, it's like people like you just putting in the grind, always bettering yourself and like making the connections. You know, even messaging on Instagram, I thought was like, you know, like
it's so simple, but it works. Yeah.
For real. Yeah. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, and like for like the process part, it's funny because like a lot of the people I see on Trust the Process, they're very much about the hustle mentality. Like they get it. Like they're hustlers. I wouldn't even say I'm a hustler, funny enough. I'm just like, I'm kind of like a brick. So like while those guys are like really smart, I'd probably say I'm like an absolute moron. So I'm the opposite. But hear me out. The reason for that is because I don't do anything I do out of hustling mentality. I don't do it because I want to make money. I don't do it because I want to prove people wrong or anything. I kind of just do it because I can, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like I'm a creator. I like editing, and whoever is gonna hire me to edit, I'll edit for them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it just so happens that because I stuck to like my guns, which is like hip hop music, comedy. I just ended up jumping up steps in that respect. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, it wasn't like planned by any means. Like, I didn't tell myself in 5 years I'm gonna do a video for 21 Savage or Future, you know? That was never, I didn't even think I would do a video for freaking Fatboy SSE or any local rapper 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, I just kind of like, you know, went with the wind, you know, and whatever happened.
I think all your experience editing the videos, I really wanted to get in on, because I know that's a very exciting topic. I wanted to ask you, I guess you kind of touched on this, but if you want to add, you can. It's beyond the work itself, how important is the creative networking to your industry? Is it an industry where, you know, work speaks for itself and word gets around, or do you have to spend time, I guess like Barry was, really like reaching out and creating these connections with other creatives?
Yeah. Word spreads around, but only to like the web you're in, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So like
only to your network kind of thing.
I'm trying to like word it like a trust the process like quote. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, what's gonna make the Instagram? Word only spreads as far. Okay, word only spreads as big as the pond is. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, whatever. We'll pretend that was deep. No, what I mean is that like word will spread, but it's only gonna like spread to an extent depending on who your network is. So it's like, it's cool to have your own network. Like when I first started, like I knew I'm gonna use basketball as an example, like the basketball mixtapes, because I do have like a lot of like connections there, because you know I did a basketball mixtape for my friend Nicola, and it caught like a lot of like waves in like the high school Hamilton, you know, sports realm. So I was getting athletes from all over Hamilton like messaging me kind of and saying like, how much would you charge for you to film like 3 games? And they were like, yeah, 3 games, $20. I'm like, well, 3 games are like 9 hours. Like, I'm getting paid pennies. But I wasn't picky, but at the same time I was, because I'm also like, I'm not gonna go like across Hamilton, take the bus to film like for $20. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not that disrespectful to myself. You know what I mean?
You know, you have to know your worth, like to an extent, right?
Yeah, like if you're really desperate for work, go for it. But like, I wasn't insanely desperate, so I was like, you know, I still got to pick my battles, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, no, it was cool. And then what happened was like, I did videos like for like a lot of athletes in that time, and word got around that I was only doing videos for athletes in Hamilton. You know what I mean? Like, my name never got out to Toronto or Mississauga, because like, you know, that's not how far my network went. You know what I mean? It really is like, I think it's really about you reaching out, because like word of mouth is dope when you're huge. Like when you're big, word of mouth, because you've already done the groundwork, so now the work's coming to you, you know? So that's when you can rely on word of mouth. That's when word of mouth helped me, because, you know, I had Bari, and me and Bari, our names are being passed around like crazy throughout the industry. So it's like, yeah, word of mouth is dope. You don't have to look for work comes to us pretty much, you know? Obviously me and Bari are like kind of like always looking for like the next step up, next leg up. So we do still do some like reaching out to like people we look up to. Yeah. But because you don't want to stay stagnant, you know what I mean, at the same time, right? But yeah, I think it's all about reaching out, you know what I mean? Like you gotta just shoot your shot, you know what I mean? Where it's like you see someone you look up to, like let's say you're a rapper, for example. If there's an artist that has like, you have 100 followers and there's an artist with 10K followers, you have the guy with the 10K followers. You gotta understand there's tiers, there's levels to this shit, you know what I mean? Like you can't just go DM Drake and be like, yo, feature please, like, hey, maybe you'll get lucky. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like maybe you'll get lucky, but you know, the odds are like very slim compared to you getting in contact with a guy with 10K followers, right? And then his 10K followers catch on to you. And then you go to a guy with 20K followers and be like, hey, I work with this guy with 10K followers, you know what I mean? Or 10K streams, you know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
And you just kind of like, you keep jumping up and down, you know what I mean? Like, and you build real relationships. That's another thing that I gotta mention, because like, although I talked a lot about, we went from Fatboy SSE to BlocBoy JB to 21, you know what I mean? Just because it sounds like we just like leveled up. It's not like we just threw them in the trash and said, all right, see you guys, we're better than you or something like that. Like,
you still kind of fostered that connection.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have a relationship with these guys. Like I rock with all these guys, and like I know Barry definitely does. Like you know what I mean. Like he'll never burn a bridge. You know what I mean? Because not even for like a business minded thing. It's just like being a decent human being. You don't burn a bridge because you might have like went further or something like that. So
yeah,
because sometimes a lot of my work sometimes even comes from old people that we worked with. You know what I mean? Never feel like you're too small. People are good people. They'll respond back. No, understand there's tiers, so if they don't hit you back, it's just because you need to do a little bit more work on your end. But you know
yeah.
what I mean, don't think you're worth nothing. People want to help out, and if you're talented, especially, like, dude, like, people will respond if they see your stuff. Like some of my favorite like Instagram accounts and like creators, like they have less followers than me. You know what I mean? But like I still rock with them because
Hell
I see
yeah.
the talent. You know what I mean? I talk to them, so yeah.
Yeah.
If you're really self-aware and if you really are passionate and really want to make it, you need to like just sit down and make absolute crap for a while. Like I know not everyone's like privileged. You know what I mean? Some people
Yeah.
need to make money now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that makes
yeah.
sense. Like I definitely understand that. That's a completely different story. But to those who are like in my position, for example, who can like afford to mess around and really like figure stuff out, like do it. Don't jump the shark, don't jump the gun, sorry, and try to like make cool stuff and like, you know what I mean? Like, and like just rush into the game,
Yeah.
I don't care if you want to make money, I don't care if you want to be famous. Experiment first, man, because like you're just gonna not get the right results if there's 5 million other people that can do the same thing as you, so experiment.
100%.
Experiment. If I'm like a nobody at 30, I still probably won't care, you know what I mean, as long as I can feed myself, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm just really trying to focus on just like creating everything that expresses me in the moment I'm in right now, you know what I mean. Like I have so many ideas right now that are so like immature and stupid because that's who I am right now, and I don't want to lose this part of my life by not creating, you know what I mean. So if I create and make these stupid experimental things that I have bouncing in my head with my coworkers and friends, like I think that's all I care about right now. I don't care about fame, whatever, doing another 21 Savage video. Like now it's like I've proved to myself I can do that. Now it's time to really do what I want to do. So yeah.